Welcome back, folks. This is episode 75. It's about your paycheck. And before we get into pay evolution, what's up, Walt?
Man, nothing much. I'm excited to be here. Another opportunity, man. And how about you?
That's
You
right.
good?
Yeah, man. Absolutely, bro. I've been always love recording. Get a little short session today because we doubled up on a couple episodes last week.
Yeah.
Just dropped. If you're hearing this, by the time you hear this, folks should have already heard Michael Dean from Payroll Minds, and the next one, trucking payroll. That'll be a fun one for the next
Yeah.
episode of. Oh no, it'll drop this week as well. For it's about your paycheck. The
First about payroll,
it's
right?
about we're doing both. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next week it'll
Okay.
drop for it's about payroll. This week it'll drop
Yes.
for
Okay.
it's about your
That's
paycheck.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Paycheck.
yeah, for sure, folks. Any truck drivers out there listening to the show, like he really dropped some knowledge on like how to save money, how to
Yeah.
make more money as a truck driver. Kind of also debunks the whole what was it the like autonomous trucking,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Which
Yes. Yes.
I was like convinced it was gonna happen immediately, and he kind of right, he kind of put it like,
He
there's gonna be a
he
little,
went into such detail. He dropped
yeah,
so many
yeah,
nuggets that I think, and so many different things that I think we took away notes
yep,
from. And it was just a great episode. So yes, I piggyback and I share that
yeah,
same sentiment,
yeah.
man. It's gonna be great
Great
for
for
payroll pros and
and
truckers.
I mean, and anybody even thinking about going into trucking as a
Hmm.
business, as a driver, like he
Yep.
drops information and that's why we posted it on both platforms because it just
Yeah.
covers the whole spectrum of
Yeah. Yeah.
employee to pay. So good stuff there. We got recognized as one of the top payroll and HR podcasts in the world
Good.
on LinkedIn by Lano. Either I don't know how they pronounce it. Lano,
Lano,
Lano.
we love
Shout
you.
out to
Wherever.
Lano. We love you. Word
Yeah.
up. So that was dope this past week and couple weeks and whatnot. So yeah, man, just riding that high and riding that wave, you know, and that's it, man.
Yeah. We saved a little bit more money, I think,
We did.
with
Oh
this.
yeah, I got that on my list
Right.
to make sure I.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Financial fitness.
yeah, the fun and it's like so. What's good about it? How can I say? It's like training your mind, right? So it's not only the little things, the little targeted. Oh, I'm going to save money here and there. You start thinking about it and all that you spend and all your expenses and like a real global level. And it was just an expenses coming up for us on the business side, and I was like, wait a minute, the package that we can, is there any savings there that we can get? And yes, there was. We just,
So long, but
yeah, because when we
sitting
first
at
started 3 years ago, we had different
yeah
intentions for the website. So we
side.
bought like the
Yep.
big pro package, annual monster package. And now we're like, wait a minute, we're not using it that way anymore. Let's
Yep.
save some bread on this
Let's
renewal.
pivot.
Let's pivot.
Yeah.
And we could always go back to it when things change. But right now, financial fitness.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a really good way of looking at everything. And, even in my fitness, actual physical fitness, I'm down some pounds. And, yes,
There you
yeah,
go.
man, thanks. And yesterday, it was like a cheat day. I had some pizza, but I was like, I got to work out now. And sure enough, I worked out, and like I've been a little obsessive with weighing myself only because I want to see how like what I'm doing and how it's impacting. And I was able to maintain my weight over the holiday weekend
Good. Good.
through the same things, just watching what I'm eating. It's a combination of things, folks. Like it's not easy
Yeah.
to do this. Like I'm intermittent fasting, caloric deficit, I'm exercising, I'm eating clean, so there's like
Mhm.
multiple things at play for my age to really make an impact on the weight loss piece. So, and just getting a little, healthier and feeling good. It's not easy, yo. It's not easy, but
Yeah, it's different. Like 5 years ago, you probably could have ate a little bit different
yes. Oh my God.
than now, right? And I'm finding that out myself, right? Because I've been working out, but I haven't been eating it. I probably haven't been eating as clean as you
Right.
have, right? And so my weight loss has been more slower.
Telling
You
you,
know what I'm saying?
if you
So
have
like,
a scale, start weighing yourself every single day in the morning before you
yeah,
do anything, right when you wake up, because somebody had told me like that's the you're dehydrated right when you wake up, so you're kind of
Mhm.
at your lightest. That you don't
Yep.
have any of the water weight on, so
Yeah.
it's a good time to take a
Yep.
check. So I do that, and if, ideally, you know, no clothes on. You know what I mean? Just really,
Yeah.
and I've been doing it every day just to kind of gauge like, okay, I did this yesterday. How did it impact? I did this yesterday. How did it
And
impact?
look, and if you're weight training, just one of
And I
the
take yep,
and not to
yep.
get to fitness here, like if you're weight training, understand that muscle
Mhm.
weighs more than fat.
Mhm.
So just don't make that your thing. Like, hey, like it also depends on how your clothes fit on you too,
Yes. And that
right?
is
Not
another
necessarily the
gauge.
scale.
Correct.
You know, it's like
That's another gauge. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, it's good things. Any news for us? Anything you want to share?
yeah, yeah. As far as around the pay horn for the people, I'm sure our listeners and you may have even heard about this. I'm sure you have. The big beautiful bill was just passed by Congress, and so a lot of people have been talking about that, and I'm sure some people are up in arms, some people are celebrating. So, just all I would say, no matter where you lean, if you're in between, left, right, or whatever, right, non-political, just do your research
Yes.
because so many people are saying so many things about it. Do your research and find out exactly how it impacts you, if it impacts you at all.
Yes.
That's what I would say, right?
Because
Because there are some things in there that may very well impact you, depending on where you fall at.
if I'm not mistaken, maybe we can do a show on it next week or a few weeks or whatever. Like one of the things that people were like raving about is the no tax on tips and OT.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if
I was just about to
right,
say
there's
that.
a
It's
caveat. I think it's only when you go file for your taxes, not out of your paycheck.
yeah, and so they were saying, like, you can't make above a certain amount
So
either.
they're
Yeah, so there's multiple different factors.
you
So,
see?
again, you gotta find out. I think it was, I think the number, and again, fact check
Oh yeah,
us,
heck yeah.
just to find out the information, but I think that number was 20 or 25,000. If you make more than that, then that goes away.
Come on then. See, that 25,000, that's minimum wage levels. I mean, I guess it's helpful for the minimum. But wait, but is that with tips or you see what I'm saying? So there's like so
I
many
think that's with tip.
questions.
Yeah, I
That's
think that's with tip.
see,
So it's just like, dang,
yeah,
I gotta make 25 or less.
exactly.
Dang.
That's not cool. Because then all the people on my Facebook that have been raving about it, I know good and well they make more than that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
And then I read in the
they're
fine
not reading
print
the
and no one's
fine
really,
print. That's right.
and look, we could be wrong.
Yep.
Again, do your
Yep.
research. And
Shoot,
so
if you're
I
an
had
expert, come
that.
on the show and teach us all about it.
Yeah. So a lot of people are saying there's gonna be negative impacts on low income families.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so that's gonna really help like
What kind of sense
people
does that
that
make?
are middle class, upper middle class and above. It's gonna be tax credits on for them and stuff like that. That's what a lot of people are saying. And there's gonna be more negative tax implications on
That's
people who
nuts.
earn less money.
That's
So look, that's what they're saying. So look, minimum wage increases. Like, so if you're one of like, there are several states out there that just increased their wages as of July 1st. Check it out. But you may be in one of those states.
yep.
And if you are, and you make minimum wage, you want to make sure
That
that
yours
your
is going up.
employer
That's right.
is going up
Yep.
over there as
Good call
well.
out.
So there are several states and cities across the US that implemented that as of July
Yep.
1.
Yep.
So, and there's been some delayed pay raises that US federal workers are still waiting on. That's like it's there that 60,000 of them are still waiting
Oh, they're federal workers.
their
So the whole Elon
yeah,
effect, probably.
yeah. And so there's a temporary delay with that. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I had for around the pay horn, man.
I only have one. Oh, did I lose my link already? Let me get out of there. Let me go ahead and get back to it. I did a report on how much Tesla employees make. So I found another
Yeah.
one from Entrepreneur about how much Meta employees make. So let's see. So Meta revealed in federal filings how much it was compensating its employees. Software and engineers at Meta can make anywhere from 120 to 480 base salary. That is
Woo.
let me rephrase, let me restate $120,000 to $480,000 base salary annually. It says Meta is currently in the middle of an AI talent war with other AI focused companies like OpenAI and Google.
Yeah.
Meta is willing to pay, and I heard another article about this too. Meta is willing to pay top dollar ranging to nine figures for AI talent. But
Yeah, you mentioned
I
that
did,
before
right?
in another
Yeah.
show.
It was
Yes,
some he was
yes,
doing some craziness, like he's inviting them to the
yes,
crib and
yes, yes,
wooing
yes.
and recruiting personally, guaranteeing all kind of money. And what did he say? He says, ranging for up to nine figures for AI talent, but how is it compensating its more expansive workforce of data scientists, software engineers, and product designers? According to data from federal filings obtained from Business Insider, software engineers at Meta, again, the 120 base salary, product
Yeah.
designers and researchers have salaries exceeding 200K. Data scientists make up to 270,000 dollars a year,
Mhm,
and the data comes from required documents that companies must file with the U.S. Department of Labor when hiring non-U.S. workers through
mhm.
H-1B visa. So yeah, it's let's see if it got any other ranges. The data shows that AI research scientists at Meta make from 179K to 232K, while data analysts make from 168 to 200,000, and design engineers make from 185 to 256. This is all hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
It's
On the
crazy.
manager side, software engineering managers take home from 219 to 328K base pay.
Wow.
Senior product managers are making from 220 to and oh, I'm sorry. So senior product managers make 224, and research scientist managers make 258.
Wow.
Yeah, so I love it because this, we're telling our kids and the young ones, get into AI, get into data, get into this, get into that. Like, look, this is serious stuff, man. This is,
Mhm.
it's big money, or and sure, I definitely want to share this with my kids, and you know,
Yeah.
something in those lanes, and or ancillary around this world, right? It's good. It's good money. It's
Yep.
good money. That's all I
That's the
had,
way to
folks.
make it.
Yeah.
Great, man. Alright, so you wanna get into it?
Yeah, man. We're talking about pay evolution, and I love the talking points because it's like how employee compensation has transformed over the years, right? And
Yes.
from pay envelopes to instant payments, it's it's
Yeah.
crazy. So you want let me see what we got. Six. I'll do the first three.
Yeah, yeah, let's
All
do it.
right. So then versus now, how we used to get paid. Paper checks on check date. It says Fridays, but it's not always Fridays, right? But it used to be paper checks. I remember, like, it wasn't that, like, beginning of my career, I was handing out checks,
Yeah,
handing
bro.
out, direct deposit was a thing,
Stuffing
right?
checks.
Oh gosh, yes, oh my gosh, I used to have to sign checks,
Bro, it w
not sign them, but I like initial that I checked
the
them.
what they call the check type of paper. I can't think of the
Oh, the
the
paper?
terminology. Yes,
Oh,
it was a check paper. I don't wanna
micro.
yeah, something like that,
Yes,
right?
there's a special
But
paper that we
yes,
had to buy to print the checks on, you
yes,
know.
and you had to make sure you put them right in the
Yes.
right
Yep.
position in the printer because if you did it, you had to do it all over again,
Mhm.
and finance would be mad, like, "You wasted all those
Yep.
checks."
Yep, that's right. And it definitely were more expensive, right?
Yep,
And again, like at the beginning of my career, I remember giving out checks, and I remember even if they were just the direct deposit stub, right? You were
yeah,
like, we were still mandated at that time to give them out. Now, folks can opt. Well, we'll talk about now. But what else? Oh, manual time cards. People used to buddy punch. My mom used to talk about how people used to call in and, oh my gosh, I'm running late. Punch me in real quick. Punch me in real quick. And they could just
yes,
boom,
yeah,
boom, boom, punch you. And they called it buddy punch. And that's
yes,
that's
yeah,
really why the time systems had to evolve to avoid buddy punching. So
yep,
much so that they have like retinal scanners now,
metrics, yeah,
biometrics in hand, and this and that, all that stuff.
yep,
What else? It says delays, bank runs, and no visibility. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I remember working for businesses or friends of our family, working for businesses that, "Oh, before I pay you guys, you might have to wait till Monday
Mhm.
because I had to gotta go to the bank and deposit these checks."
which is illegal. So, but yeah, we didn't know any better when working for small companies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know, but yeah, yeah. So let's see. Number two is the direct deposit boom. The
yeah,
rise of direct deposit in the 80s and 90s. Okay.
yeah,
And yeah, no, there were pros and cons for it because it was the pros are still the same. Like
yeah,
if you have a storm, if there's a shipping delay, if there's any type of thing that would prevent if the printer went down, if you didn't get the load of paper, if you didn't get the ink and da, 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 like all
yeah.
these factors can go into why somebody can't pay you,
Oh my god,
right?
bro! Like, imagine there was this one place that you and I worked. You remember that when we submitted payroll, you had to do something with the nacho
Oh,
file.
yeah, I had to move it
Remember that?
manually.
You had to.
Yes, heaven for
Yes,
you don't move that freaking file manually,
yes,
and I had that same thing in New York.
hmm,
Same thing. I had to move the files manually to the
yes,
bank
bro.
so that direct deposits would actually move. Now it all happens seamlessly, like, you hit the button and
Yes,
everything
bro.
happens by magic, auto-magically,
Yeah.
but in the beginning, it was still a lot of, moving parts and things like that. The cons for direct deposit, I don't know if there are any cons for direct deposit. The only one in the begin
Um.
Oh, go what were you gonna say?
No, go
The
ahead.
only
Go
one I
ahead.
could
I
think
was.
of, like, but this is more manage your money better, is when your account is negative and you can't reroute that direct deposit fast enough to hit something else or to
Yeah.
get a live check, or you don't know what day is affected because there's effective dates. Like, if you don't change your
Yeah.
information
Yeah.
at the right date, that's it. The system is taking that old direct deposit, and that still exists now. So, you know,
But look, I, I googled it really quick, right? And so this is what it said. This is what the AI from Google
okay.
said. Some of the cons of it. And I want to see what you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about it. So it said that some people may have limited access to banking services. They might have had,
Yeah.
limitations.
Yeah.
Credit could have affected that.
Sure.
Initial setup and integration challenges for employers. Look,
In the
employers
beginning,
didn't
maybe, like
didn't
we talked
use,
about. Yep.
yeah, yeah, didn't they didn't use that and the potential for delays. It could have been impacted by weekends, holidays, or bank processing schedules. So maybe some smaller mom and pop banks, and they might
It
process a little bit.
Yes.
I've seen that
No, no,
happen,
no,
right? Where somebody,
yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I guess it is a con, but you do have to pay it because the con is you have to pay attention to all that. Because if
yes,
you
right.
process on the wrong day, it's gonna be a day late.
Yeah, and look. So I think this is one of the things that, you know, there was a mandate. I think there was one state that, I forget which state it was. I work for a company, and they kind of mandated that everybody in the state either get a pay card or a direct deposit.
Mm.
So all the employees, one employee went and got direct deposit, and when you know the first check deposit, so they got some small mom and pop credit union that was just local
Yeah.
to their city, and the direct deposit it wasn't showing. It was like 9 a.m. didn't show up, 12 p.m. didn't show up, and then it is. I think it didn't pop into the person's bank until like later on that night around like 9 p.m. or something like
That's crazy.
on payday,
Oh, wow. That's
right?
crazy.
And so like they were telling them like, hey, this is a smaller bank, smaller credit union, smaller financial institution. And then the way they process may be a little different.
Well, somebody pushed that file in. That's what it is. It's a manual push, like, Jane from that office forgot to accept the file, like, straight
Maybe,
up. That's what it
yeah.
is.
'Cause it's different now, right? Now, you used to get, I think it was more recent here that we started with the chimes and
Oh,
the
yeah.
the
Yeah,
different days. Now you can get it up
early.
to 2 days early, up to days early.
But hey, here's a caveat. Your company
Yeah.
has to submit by a certain time for that to be
Yes, sir.
possible,
Yes, sir. Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Because of the NACHA rules, the NACHA
Mhm.
allows certain files to move if they have them
Yeah.
by a certain time. But if they don't
Mhm.
have it by that time, and shout out to it was at the time it was my Times Square store for It's Sugar. One of the manager there at the time was like, "Hey, my employee didn't get his or her pay or whatever early." And I was like, all right, well, I mean, payday is payday. That's it's still that
Mhm.
is their as a company, their legal obligation is whatever the company's payday is, right? So, and I was like, so that's on Chime. And then I
Yeah.
doubled back and I said, "Let me make sure that's true." And I went to Chime's website and or somebody, I'm not trying to shout out Chime, good or bad,
Mhm.
but they did have it, like, it was in the fine print, your company must submit by a certain time to get it
Yeah.
early. So it is what it is, like, so unfortunately,
Yeah.
that is not always possible for us to submit in that time window for them to get it early.
Yeah, and I wanna go back to the bank fees that you touched
Yeah,
on
yeah.
as far as that being a potential con,
Mhm.
right? I know you said the people we had yes, people rightfully have to manage their funds
Yeah,
correctly and stuff like
yeah.
that, but, I've been
But being
there,
negative, oh, heck
so,
yeah.
being negative and then just
Yep.
accruing those fees, so in the '90s is when banks introduced that,
Mhm.
the overdraft fees, it came in the '90s, and it quickly became a revenue for the banks because I think they said that some banks ended
It
up
was predatory. No,
getting
they were being
earning
predators with it, yeah.
$30 billion per
Yes,
year
absolutely. Ridiculous.
in
I
overdraft
was one of
fees.
those. I had a 18-cent overdraft that I left, that I was like, I'll get to that," because I closed the account out, right? I moved my account and, it was like 18-cent overdraft. I was like, "Whatever, y'all, I'll get to that when I can." Bro, when
Yeah.
I looked at it months later, it was like in the 700s of dollars
Yeah, bro.
because
Yeah.
the overdraft fee just
35, 35,
35,
35.
35, it just kept racking up.
Yep.
I was like, "Are you cool?" I was like, "Yo, crazy? Like, you bugging?" And I think we settled at like $35, $35.18. I remember, they did
Yeah.
I did not pay no $700 on 18-cent overdraft, but that
Yeah.
was right in the time where they were getting crazy with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is I mean but that still exists now. If your account is negative and your direct deposit hits, that it is what it is.
But they may not charge you as
Oh,
much,
no, no, no.
like,
Yeah, no,
multiple
no, they're not
times.
predatory anymore because of those
Yeah.
days. But what I can tell employees is ask your HR payroll department like when that cutoff is. If you need to
Yes.
understand when by what day it is to change your direct deposit, because some people do it the day before check date, thinking,
Yeah.
and I see it in the system. Like, you changed it
Yeah.
yesterday, today's check date. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
There's some people
Yeah.
do it on check date, and I'm like, that's definitely not how it works. So you need to know what day that your last day possible it is to change your banking information that will actually impact that check date. And it's
Yes, sir.
usually, rule of thumb is usually within the pay period.
Yes,
Whatever
sir.
your pay period is, right? If you make a change inside of your pay period for the applicable check date, then you should have a good chance. But ask them. That's not a secret. It's not information that they should be withholding from you. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
should be able to tell you, bar none, like, "Oh yeah, no problem. If you do it by this day," some systems will even tell you when you're making the change, it'll say, "Hey, this is going to impact X and Y check date." You know what I mean? So if I do it
Mhm.
today, it's going to be like, "Yeah, it's not going to, this is going to impact your 7/18 check date." You do it next week, "Oh, this is going to impact your 8/5 check date." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
depending on how sophisticated, if it doesn't do that, y'all can ask. Don't be afraid to ask your HR payroll department questions. Like, that's one of the main reasons we started this show, is
Yes,
because
sir.
employees are literally scared to ask the questions on their own behalf.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. All right. So anyway, the next one, and yes, and as far as direct deposit, it is still the number one way people get paid. I still have live check people, but it's such a small
So
amount.
small.
Yeah, it's such a small amount that I'll get to it eventually, to get everybody 100%. But it is also something that they cannot mandate state to state, right? On the state
Yeah.
level, your state will dictate whether your company can force it or not. But
Mhm.
there are pay cards that are 100% compliant in every state, because what the state does, sorry to go off on a caveat here, but this is exactly why we do this, right? To teach folks about this stuff, is like,
Mhm.
or to go on a tangent. What the states do with the pay cards is, or the pay cards do for those states is, the states say you have to give the employees an ability to write a check, to get a check, to bring a check to the bank to get exactly what their amount of money, right?
Mm.
So they give you checks with your pay card, and you can write yourself a check for your pay based on
Yeah,
based on your
that's
pay
true.
stub. You go into the bank calls a number, you get a validation number, and then they
Yep.
validate the amount. and then they can cash your check. So that's
Yep.
how they make it 100% compliant in every state. It's not, it's not elegant, but that's what a company is going to
Yeah.
do for the company side to be 100% digital. Because we
Yeah.
don't want you to get live checks. There's so many things that come up that we just said that you don't get
Oh, they're
paid.
making lost in the
Yeah.
mail, weather delays, things that are out of
Holidays,
company's
this, that,
control.
yeah.
Like, depending on the courier that's
Yes.
delivering
Yes.
it,
Some
they could just like they could say out for delivery today, and then they
not
might
till
not
tomorrow.
even attempt to
Yep.
delivery.
And you go on
You know what I'm
today's
saying?
check day, you go on vacation tomorrow, your check is delayed a day, then what?
Yep.
That's not on the company. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's not.
So, try to be look, if you're unbanked, then you need to be running from Trump anyway at this point. But I was gonna say you could get pay cards and stuff, which a lot of unbanked people do, but you need to be scared for other reasons. Word up. Like God
I
bless all
get you.
those families that are getting split up and whatnot. Like it's real
It's
deal,
crazy,
man. Yeah,
man.
it's real. It's real. So number three, before I pass it off to Walt, the rise of oh, I love that I got this one. I like this subject. The rise of digital wallets and on-demand pay. So
Yep.
earn wage access and digital wallets are becoming and pay cards are becoming a bigger part of that direct deposit
Yes, they are,
scene,
bro.
you know what I mean? And I didn't realize how much people really depend on the on-demand pay.
Bro,
I didn't
we
realize it.
we just implemented it
Oh,
with our company, and like payroll after payroll, I'm seeing
and
more
more.
and more people access it,
Yeah.
bro. And they're just like, yo, I need this money. And it might be
Yeah.
$20,
Yeah.
$30,
Oh gosh, I've
$40.
been there.
Some people it's 40, 50,
Yeah.
60, 100
Yep.
bucks. And you're just like, and that's it. And some people, multiple people tap into it multiple
Yeah.
times, like
Daily.
2020, 20,
Yeah.
2020. Yeah. Just like, hey, I need it for
Yep.
today.
Yep.
I need gas. I need this. I
You
need it
need
for
food.
tolls.
I
I need
need
it for
yeah.
this.
Yeah, for sure. Pay a bill. Unexpected things come up.
Yep.
Things came up today. I got to do my tires, and I mean not my tires, my brakes, and then my thing. I'm like, oh,
Yes, sir.
I had to scramble. You know what I mean? Like I would have loved to have that. Well, I actually could have it. I just haven't set it up. So that's on me. I need to be damn. Maybe I should just set that up. Right? Duh.
Oh, yeah. Certain companies, like, they don't allow, like, the managers and above. I think they only allow, like, hourly
Ouch.
and
We don't
other
restrict.
people to do it.
Yeah, no, we don't restrict. Everybody, the way ours is set up is that a whole active employee roster goes over to the company, and that puts your account on pending. And then from there, if you ever choose to activate it, you got to download the app. They give you the
Yep,
security questions and validate your identity. You get in, and boom, you have access. And you could either they charge for instant access. Like if you want your money right now, it's like $3. But if you can wait till
yep.
tomorrow, it's free.
It's
It's
free.
free or
Yeah.
much less, like 99 cents type
Look
thing.
look, I agree with that. I like that process because you don't whether you're in the C-suite or you're a subordinate that reports to
Yeah.
someone, we don't know anybody's
Yeah.
financial situation,
Yeah.
right?
Companies
Um,
should not be restricting who gets to use it. You know what I mean?
yeah, and
Just because I make a certain amount of money doesn't mean I'm flush.
yes,
I'm
yes,
cash, I'm
yes,
liquid,
yes.
and don't do
And,
not
so,
stay
and
out of my
sometimes
pockets.
yes, and sometimes people make those decisions based on their lives
Yes.
and how convenient their lives
I
are.
had
Oh, I don't struggle and I'm good and this and that
I
and
had a boss one time early in my first payroll job, and I knew I was getting a bonus for Christmas. And I was like, "Hey, boss, when's that Christmas bonus coming?" And he was like, "Oh,
yeah,
the 27th of December." And I was like, "That's after Christmas." And he's like, "Yeah, that's what credit cards are for." And I was like, "All right, cool.
much
Yeah,
for that.
roger that." Like, because at the time, I don't even know if I had credit or had good credit or had available credit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Either
Yeah,
way, I knew I was screwed because I was like, "All right, well, it does me no good. I don't know." But because I wasn't financially fit like that then. Shoot, I'm not even all the
yeah,
way there now. I'm just now choosing like
yeah,
so yeah, these tools are really cool. I love it. And again, I didn't realize how like customers only and it was unfortunately there was a glitch in our matrix and employees didn't have access for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
I
damn.
got multiple emails every single day. And mind
Damn.
you, only 26% of our population use it, actively use it. So, but that 26% was vocal.
Yeah,
They
I
were
remember you
like,
telling me.
"Yo, I need my money." And
Yeah,
as
need my
soon as it
money.
hit back, thank goodness I had, one of the managers let me know, like, "Hey, it's back." And I was like, "Oh, thank you, God." You know, and but yeah, it was an eye opener for me, like, "Oh wow, people are really using this for real." I just didn't know
Yeah.
what the usage was. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's real time access, greater flexibility. And one of the things that I learned when I first did a demo of one of the most popular ones out, I did a demo like 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like, well, isn't this making people broke? And they were like, no, actually, 80% of our population are actually fixing their finances and are achieving wellness, financial wellness, fitness with using the program. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
okay. Well, dang. So, yeah,
There
man.
you go.
Yeah, it's good stuff, bro. I like, it makes sense. But now on the flip side of that, and one more thing before I give it to you, well, two things. One, we should be having a representative from one of the companies on soon, our friend of the show, Aaron Martin. Hopefully, if we get it. If not, we understand, powers that be if they
Yep.
can't come on. But two, the other side of that is some states are fighting this by saying
Yeah.
that they're calling it an advance. They're calling an advance on pay. They're calling it a loan,
Alone.
and they want other restrictions and guidelines and regulations because they saying it's a loan, and it's not really a loan, right? You're pulling on your earnings.
Yeah, man. It's just another way for them to take a money
Yep.
grab. For me,
It's just,
my
yeah,
opinion, for them
absolutely.
to take money
Absolutely.
out of people's pockets.
Absolutely. Because they wanna
It's like,
charge. They
look,
may wanna
man.
make sure that the interest is going to tap, like, so just be careful, pay attention to that. If you are an avid user of these earned wage access, the on-demand payments, pay attention to what state you're in and what your state politics are about it.
Perfect
Yes,
segue
sir.
because my first one starts off with compensation, transparency, and
Mhm.
equity, right? So look, that's those pay transparency laws
Yep.
that New York and California have implemented, right? New York is very like employee
Employee centric,
centric,
yep.
right? And so they have a lot of things that want to benefit the employees,
Yes.
right? And there's been a shift toward more equitable pay practices. Gen Z and millennial expectations, have, I guess, kind of changed some stuff, as far as like what they expect and how they expect to get paid,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And so we mentioned this a couple of times in different shows about how there was like a panel of Gen Zs that
Yes.
said that they needed at least up to 500K in order to have the American
No
dream.
doubt. I'm not mad. I'm not disagreeing either. Word up.
Yeah. So like, look, so what comes next in pay? Crypto,
Well,
the
hold on.
blockchain.
Let's go back to pay transparency for a second.
Okay,
What did
okay,
I
go ahead.
want to say about the pay transparency laws? Shift toward equitable pay. I was just talking about it with a friend of mine, and she was saying, I don't know if it's, sh- I guess it's not the same thing, but I guess she was seeing a post for a job in her same job, but same company in another state. And she's like, yeah, they posted the salary and it's different from here and whatnot. And I was like, oh, yeah, they must be a pay transparency state and you can see it. And they were like, yeah, but like the cost of living was different, like, but the pay was better. And I was like, it doesn't always have to do with cost of living. It could be like your position is just like they have a shortage in it. So they need to recruit.
Mhm.
So, anywho, little things like that. What I really want to say about pay transparency is, and I always say this when it comes up, is compare your gross, not your net, right? Compare your gross amounts, not your net, because gone are the days that companies can like stop you from sharing. Like back in the day, companies would tell you you are not allowed to talk about your pay
Mhm.
around the water cooler type deal. Now,
Yep.
companies can't really say that anymore. Pay transparency's law or not, that they really it's frowned upon to put those type of restrictions on folks, and that's cool.
Mhm.
But please believe that if you and your person work buddy make the same money, but you guys have different individual things going on, taxes, benefits, deductions, da da da, that impact your net. So be careful comparing net pays and you think you make the same gross, or you make the same gross, but your nets are off. Then that's a lesson for, well, what's coming out of your check that's not coming out of mine. And then maybe, people may not want to get that granular with showing, oh, well, that's my business, because there's garnishments, there's child support, there's things like that, right? People may not want you to be all in their check like that. So
Yeah.
respect privacy. One, that's personal privacy. So the pay transparency is at the gross level. The net and all that after is personal privacy. You know what I mean? So at the gross level,
Mhm.
yeah, we make the same bread. What do you net? That's my business. You know what I mean? So just
Yeah.
keep that in mind with that stuff.
Yes, sir. All right. And look, so what comes next? And thank you for dropping those
Okay,
those
yeah,
nuggets, man,
no
for
doubt.
people. So what comes next? Is crypto going to become more of a thing in pay
Look,
and on the
it could
blockchain?
it could be. I think crypto is definitely could be a good medium for and kind of tool mechanism to pay. I asked
Hmm.
a lawyer friend. I'm not gonna say names, but I asked a lawyer friend, and he didn't tell me anything that you can't look up yourself. I was like, "Oh, are
Hmm.
people allowed to pay in crypto?" And he's like, "Brian, you could pay your people in oranges if that's what you guys agreed on." You know what I mean? Yeah, for real. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
all up to
Whoa.
what you agree, and then other people are like, "Oh, well, I'm not paying my worth." You don't get paid what you worth. You get paid what you can negotiate, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
it
You reminded me of a
go
story
ahead.
where the boss was being petty, but this employee was like had been underpaid or whatever. And so I think it was like a couple of hundred or $1,000 of hours that this employer owed this employee. So the employee went to like I think like the city or maybe the news or something like that. And so the employee walked out into his driveway, and there was a box full of pennies there, and the employer was petty. And it's like, oh, you want your money? Here you go. Like here are thousands and thousands and thousands of pennies for your back pay.
That's
I was just like,
crazy.
that's kind of
It
grimy.
is grind. Of course it is. Of course that's grind, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, come on, man. And that must be from a long time ago, because stuff like that now, you know, you can get all kind of legalities involved, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
oh, wasn't I talked to backtracking real quick to on demand pay, the earned wage access. I talked
Yeah.
to someone else from another retail company, right? And they were telling me that when they implemented earned wage access, they saw a drop in internal theft.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So it looks like people, right, where they needed money, so they would steal from the
Mhm.
store and go sell it to make up. But once earned wage access came, that dropped. So it's little things like you don't even realize what it can impact. But anywho, I think crypto could be a great medium, a great thing. And again, you're allowed to pay whatever your employee is willing to accept in payment. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think AI could definitely be. Hey, I think crypto could definitely be a good alternative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, I agree with that too, right? Because you could put it where you want and, just invest it and everything like that. If maybe trade it on the blockchain and do whatever you need to do
Yep.
and go from there. And look, maybe, you know, maybe there might be some instant pay for gig work, right? I know there's some that are out there that like offer you instant pay, but after a certain time, like I used to do Instacart,
Okay.
right? And so I had to do a certain amount of qualify for instant pay. I had to get through a certain number of orders,
Okay.
and fulfill that, and then it let me get my instant pay. So once I earned my money, I was able to direct deposit it for a fee, of course, a low
Right.
fee, but then I would get my money that same day,
That's dope.
having to wait. So I think there's already out there. I do feel like AI is going to make compensation adjustments. There's going to be like a lot of different changes. Like I recently saw on Uber Eats the other day, it was a cheat day and we ordered Uber Eats, right? And so it put a notice on there when I was about to check out. It says autonomous driven cars are delivering near you.
Yep.
And I'm just like, dang, like
Yep.
that, what that means is that there's less people
Yep.
driving than before. And then
Mhm.
next thing you know, Uber Eats might just have a bunch of,
Oh no, that's
smart
that's definitely
cars.
their goal because then they don't have to
Yeah.
deal with the people part of it.
Yep.
Waymo just went to New York for automated taxis, autonomous taxis. Yeah,
Wow.
they're already in San Francisco. They've been in San Francisco for years. One of my podcasts that I love, T Boy, they actually did an episode while in a Waymo autonomous driven car.
Mhm.
And you could tell because they were bugging out like while they were in there. They're like, oh, 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 like they were really scared of, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, man, I got my little one that needs to eat, so I'm just talking to
Oh,
her.
do you need
No,
to?
no, no, no. She just came back from the pool and the friends, so she
Okay.
got to take a shower. Sorry, folks, just a little, family matters.
It'll be cut out. It'll be cut
Oh
out.
yeah, if you remember, yeah, I'm if I edit, I won't remember. So yeah, no, it's I think, and that's what we were saying. We were talking about the trucking. I was thinking trucking was going to be automated sooner than later, but based on what Mike Ritzema, something like that, was saying, it's far off. So, but cars is closer and it's definitely going to impact. Look, AI is going to start to impact industry by industry, but I read a book
Yes,
a while
bro.
ago and it basically said that it's going to shift jobs. It may take a little time. People may be out of work and, kind of suffering for a while before they realize what else they can do. But look, it's still a while from coming. So what I suggest is people start getting smart around what else they can do in life. You know what I mean? Right
Mm,
now, plumbers, electricians, contractors, household service works, there unless you want a robot in your house, that's not going anywhere for a while, right? I don't
yeah.
want to. I was talking about this with my son, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, they got robots here and there," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I was like, "Yeah, that's cool, but unless I can snap that robot in half with my hands and like stop him with my hand for real, like I'm
Isn't all good?
right. Unless I can overpower the robot with my hands, I don't want that robot in my house, right? And same thing with a dog. Like I wouldn't get a
Yeah.
cane corso. I
Yeah,
don't
bro.
care if I got the thing, if I birthed the thing myself. Like that dog is gonna be huge. He might snap on my ass and he could
Yeah,
chop my
bro.
whole head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, heck
Mhm,
no. So same thing,
mhm.
like same concept. I don't want a robot. I don't care what kind of fail safe it is, unless I can overpower that robot, it's not gonna be in my house. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Whereas, I mean, I
I
guess
mean,
you could argue the same thing with a human, like, oh, I don't want, oh, what if this big guy comes in house? And then that's that does happen, right? I used to do work like this, and I would intimidate people off rip because here come, you know, these big guys coming in my house doing the work.
yeah.
But that's where that personality, hey, sir, ma'am, sure, and you kind of pleasant and comforting and just the nicer you are, the more relaxed they are, and the more you kind of. So there's a way humans can connect to each other to drop the
Mhm.
guard. Like that's not gonna happen with a robot. You know what I mean? Unless
Yeah,
again, unless you can overpower it. So it
yeah.
AI, look,
I mean, look,
it's coming, folks. AI is coming. This is a great
talk
show. What's up?
this is a random question.
Yeah.
I saw that movie, Companion, or with I forget his name. I just know him as Stewie from The Boys, right? And or Huey from The Boys, right? And so it's just like
Who was the
he
girl though? Was it Megan Fox?
no. It wasn't
Oh,
her. I mean,
I was thinking
it
about
wasn't
another.
her, but no, it was basically he had purchased a AI robot girlfriend. So when you were saying that wouldn't be in my house, I was just thinking like I was gonna ask you a question. What if somebody brought their AI girlfriend over to your
Well,
house?
that's
Like, would you
different.
let them
Like
in?
I may have to be like, yo, how strong are you? I would be definitely skeptical there for sure.
Yeah, bro.
I would definitely be skeptical. That's a whole. Oh my gosh, I don't want those problems. I don't want to have to live through, and that we might see that. We might see that
More and
because
more people, bro. More and more people are gonna be in relationships with robots,
yo,
man,
that's
instead of humans.
crazy.
Instead of humans, because they're going to avoid hurt. And if you can program a robot to tell you yes and never tell you no and never hurt your feelings and like it's going
I
to
I look, I shake and I drop my head because you're right. You're absolutely right. I do not doubt that folks will kind of go. I even thought about there's a show called I forget what I don't know if it's The Orville is the name of the show, but it's Seth MacFarlane does like a spin-off, not a
yeah,
spin-off. What did they call it? A spoof on Star Trek.
spoof, yes.
It's actually a great show. You know what I mean? It is straight comedy, but it's they do a good job with whatever number of seasons that they have that you want the next season to come, but it never came. And in that
Mhm,
show, this lady falls in love with a robot.
mhm,
Yeah. Yeah, but it's crazy, man. And look, I love all the posts of Sarah Connor and like as we use AI, Sarah Connor's like looking at us like, all
yep,
those posts. That's hilarious.
yep.
And if y'all too young
Skynet,
for
bro.
Sarah Connor's the Terminator movie and the character in that Terminator movie, you got to watch it if you haven't. But they've already predicted what's gonna happen in the movies.
Mhm,
But look, on a serious note, right before we move out of this, is like embrace AI, go learn it, go be a go be a part of that change so that no matter what, look at all the jobs we just said. There's all tech involved and AI, and that's all stuff that's going to continue. AI
yeah,
can only go off of data. So if you like data, things like that, you get involved in that. Like you got to right think about, wait a minute, what does AI need? And then what can I
yeah,
do? Because I don't know if I can be as smart as these data engineers and things like that, but I might be able to build a business around something that can facilitate it. You know what I mean? So yeah, just usher it in. What else, man? What we got
yeah.
left?
I think that's it. We got one more. It's like I think there's going to be more personalization that's going to be available,
Yeah,
and less of that one size fits
I
all
agree.
model.
I
They're
agree.
going to allow employees like, hey, set it up how you want it
Yeah,
and customize it according to your
that
needs.
that would be dope. Yeah, that would be dope if you can if they could if we could and yeah, and with on-demand pay and AI, you're right. It can be like, here's your shoe. They might yeah, it might even be let people get paid on whenever they want to get paid.
Yeah.
What pick your pay frequency. Imagine, oh my God, that would be horrible for the payroll person. But on the flip side, if they have great AI, they can, kind of run daily reconciliations, daily
Mhm.
updates to kind of just monitor the outflow. That's a whole wow, that's you just sent me down a different rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But yes, that
Yeah.
you're right. I think that could be where it goes with all this that's happening. Yeah.
Yeah,
Out,
man.
man.
We'll see. So, look, final thought is that pay isn't just about numbers, it's about access, trust, and
I
respect.
like that a lot.
Yeah. So look, I have
That's a good
some
one.
fun for us to end it off
No
of.
doubt. Let's do it.
So it's the paycheck pop culture quiz.
Okay.
Some of these questions don't have any correct answers. A few of them do.
Okay.
So there's 6 questions, and I want to ask you them. Right.
Okay.
All right. So number one, who famously said, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman."
That one I would have known
Yep.
without looking at the answers. A Jay-Z.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
one of my favorite quotes from him.
Yeah. I didn't even have to say the name. So the choices there were Jay Z, Tony Soprano, The Diddler,
Diller.
and Tommy from
You
Power.
better watch it. The Diller's gonna be running the street soon again.
I know. Ugh. All right. So number two, which TV character definitely needed a no call, no show policy for his crew? A. Yvonne Barksdale from The Wire.
Avon Barksdale.
Oh, bro.
Avon. You haven't watched The Wire?
Oh, no,
Oh
bro. It's
my
one show I've
gosh.
never
I
seen,
can't with you,
bro.
bro. I don't know how I do this. I really don't. You gotta watch The Wire.
Tommy Egan from Power, Tony Soprano, or Ghost.
This is a good one. So which TV character definitely would have needed a no call, no show policy for his crew? Geez, any one of these, they're all freaking criminals. They're all criminals. Like Tommy Egan. See now, you're gonna get me started here. Tommy Egan less so because he's basically a one man crew throughout most of Power.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
no, not Power. Oh, I'm thinking his show Enforcer, the one after. So
Force, yeah,
Force, right? So
yeah.
maybe Power. Yeah, he was running a crew Power. Yeah, yeah. Any one of these, they could have used that. All of them could have used that because these
Okay,
fools,
all right,
there's no right answer. You
all right.
said right.
Yeah, for
Well,
that
that
one,
one,
no.
anyway. The first one there was,
Yeah,
yeah.
number 3, there is a right answer.
Okay.
All right. So, which of these celebrities once worked at Dunkin' Donuts before making it
Oh,
big?
I don't know then.
A. Madonna. B. Ben Affleck. C. Cardi B. Or D. Jennifer Lopez.
I don't know at all, but something jumping out Ben Affleck for me. Was
Is
it?
that your final
Yeah, that's
answer?
my final
That's your
answer.
final
Yes.
answer? The correct answer is
Oh
Madonna.
wow, really?
Yeah, Madonna,
I had
bro.
no clue.
Yep. Good guess though. So according to TV, what's the average annual salary of a mob boss?
According to TV.
Yeah. I mean, there's no right, there's no wrong answer here. So A 75,000, 200, quarter mil, 2 million, or they don't get paid, they take.
Well, if we're thinking about an actual mob, a good mob when they were at their height, they did get some type of on the books pay from like a union or
Mm,
something like that, which was probably more around the 75K. Other than that, I would say D. They don't get paid, they take.
yeah, yeah. All right. Number 5, which power character would most likely borrow your paycheck and forget to pay it back? So number 1, Kanan, B, Tariq, C, Ghost, or D, Angela.
Have you watched Power?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would say A, Kanan.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Angela
Good,
was
good.
legal. Tariq was
Was she though? Was she?
yeah, for the most part. For the most part. She played in the gray area a little bit, but some of it
Yeah,
was unwittingly and yeah, I would yeah, she was gray. She wasn't as corrupt as the other three. And
yeah,
Tariq wasn't really in his full nonsense in Power. It just wasn't until the next show.
yeah. I got
So
you. I
Kane
got
and
you.
Ghost try to be, he try to go straight. I was
Yeah, he was trying to get out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say Kanan for sure. He took that shit and not even worried about getting back to you.
All right, last one. If Tony Soprano had to use payroll software, which one would he probably
Oh,
pick?
that's funny.
ADP, Paychecks, forget about it, payroll services, or Gusto.
Probably Gusto. Probably Gusto.
Yeah,
Or
right.
whichever one he could bribe.
Yeah, there you
That's the
go.
one.
Yeah,
That's fun. That was funny, man. No
yeah.
doubt.
There you
So
go. So that's it, man.
yeah.
What gotta say for the people, man.
Yo, till the next time, we love you. Please engage, follow, share. Let us know what you want to hear on the show and reach out. Yeah. Other than that, we love you.
Right.
Peace.
Peace.
Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok.
Thank you for being part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.